Traders Connect have a bunch of different risk settings, which can be overwhelming if it's your first time using the platform. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you all of our different risk types as thoroughly as I possibly can. Above me here, we've got the Traders Connect platform, and over to the left, we've got our documentation. So if you want to read through as I'm explaining, you might find that helpful. We're going to start off with a really easy one, the fixed lot setting. We're going to go from top to bottom. So as you can see on the left here, we'll go through the lot multipliers, and then we'll work our way into the balance multipliers. So as I said, we'll start off with the fixed lot setting. This one is quite unique in the sense that you're not entering a multiplier value like you are with the other risk settings. You just enter the lot size you want to be executed on the slave account. So maybe I want 2.5 lots to be executed on my slave account, and this will enter 2.5 lots every time for every trade, regardless of your master lot size. So that's a very easy one. We'll move to the lot multiplier now. So this one is a little bit different in the sense that it uses a multiplier. So as you can see here, it says that a 100% multiplier is the same as 1-to-1 risk. So if I enter 100% here, the slave account will copy the master account's exact lot size every time. So if the master account puts 2 lots, the slave will enter with 2 lots. If the master puts 15 lots, the slave will enter with 15 lots as well. You can change this as well. So I can put a 50% lot multiplier, and now the slave account will enter with half the master's lot size every time. So if the master opens 1 lot, the slave will open half a lot. If the master opens 2.5 lots, the slave will open 1.25 lots. And you can also do a multiplier bigger than 100%. Some people ask this, can I use a multiplier bigger than 100%? Absolutely. So you can put a 200% lot multiplier, and now your slave account will enter double your master lot size every time. So I think you're getting the picture here. So for example, with this one, I'll try and give examples. If your master opens 2 lots, your slave will open 4. If your master opens 6 lots, your slave will open 12 lots. So I think I've explained that one really thoroughly. Okay, so we're going to get a little bit more complicated now. We're going to look at the balance-based multipliers. So with the balance multiplier, this is for people that risk a specific percentage per trade on their master account, and they want a specific percentage per trade copied to their slave as well. So let's say I use 1% risk on every trade on my master, and I want 1% risk per trade on my slave as well. Well, that's really easy. I would just do a 100% balance multiplier. So if my master risks 1%, now my slave will risk 1% as well. Let's say I want 2% risk on my slave. Well, I can do a 200% balance multiplier. And now this is conditional on my master doing 1% risk. Let's say now my master does 3% risk. Well, with a 200% balance multiplier, my slave is going to do 6% risk. So it's going to double the master's risk percentage per trade every time. Another way of thinking about this is I'll do a few more examples. Let's say my master is 100k and my slave is 50k, so it's half the size. Well, with a 200% balance multiplier, if my master risks 1 lot, my slave, which is half the size, will also risk 1 lot because I'm doing a 200% balance multiplier. Let's try a 100% balance multiplier. It'll probably make it a bit clearer. So now if my master risks 1 lot, my slave, which is 50k, half the size of the master, will do a half a lot trade. So now we're going to look at the fixed balance multiplier. This is probably the most complicated risk setting that we've got, so you'll have to bear with me as I explain this one. A lot of people aren't really going to be needing this. It's a very specific use case, but it's very good if you want to compound your slave account's balance faster than if you were just using the normal balance multiplier. So what this risk setting allows you to do is exactly the same as the balance multiplier, but it allows you to enter a fixed master balance. So even as your master account balance changes, whether it goes up or down, it's always calculated based on this custom master balance that you put here. And what this allows you to do is, as the difference between your master balance, which is fixed, and your slave balance increases, the slave lot size compound progressively faster and faster and faster. So let me put in a fixed balance multiplier with a 100k fixed balance and a 100% risk setting. So this is quite a simple one. Now let's say you have a 100k master and a 100k slave. If you were just using the normal 100% balance multiplier and you made 10% profit on your master, well, both accounts now would be sitting at 110k balance. They've both gone up by 110,000. So the risk calculation is going to be pretty similar as the accounts are growing at the same rate. Now, if you used a fixed balance multiplier, you'd still be calculating based on the fixed 100k balance, which means your slave account's grown, and your master has as well, but we're calculating based on a fixed 100k balance. As this difference widens, your slave lot size is going to get progressively larger than if you were calculating at a master balance growing at the same rate. So I think this is mainly for EA traders, so traders that are using expert advisors. Most people aren't going to need this. It's a very specific use case, and I'm not going to get too into it like I did with the balance multiplier. But you can read more about this in our documentation, or even contact support if you want some more examples. So finally, now we're going to look at the fixed percentage risk setting, which is in beta at the moment, but there's no problems with it at this time. So it'll be coming out of beta very soon. It's pretty much a finished product. So the fixed percentage risk setting allows you to calculate a fixed percentage risk on your slave regardless of the master lot size. So this is different from the balance multiplier because it's not dependent on the master lot size calculation. So with the balance multiplier, to be able to calculate 1% or 2% on the slave, we needed to know, if you were using 1% or 2% on your master. But with the fixed percentage risk setting, you can put 10 lots on the master on one trade, 5 lots on another, 60 lots on another, and the slave will do 1% risk every time or 2% risk every time, whatever you want. The only condition of this risk setting is that you have to have a stop loss on trade open, and you can see that when you select it here, there's a little warning. The reason that we have to have a stop loss on your master account at trade open is so that we can perform the lot size calculation. If you don't have a stop loss on your master account, specifically at trade open, it can't be added a few seconds later, then we won't be able to calculate a custom percentage risk for you. So I'll give you an example here. If I just enter fixed percentage risk with a 1% balance percentage, this will enter 1% risk on the slave account every time, regardless of the master lot size, provided that you have a stop loss on trade open. So there we go. I've explained all of our risk settings there. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, or you can contact our support, and I'll also leave a link to our documentation in the description below. So if you want to read through this at your own pace, that's absolutely fine. So thank you for watching. Make sure to check out our other videos if you need any more help.